morning, all the judges and the teams. So we will be starting in 5 minutes, just setting up everything. Good morning, everyone. You may all switch on your cameras and the mic for a while. Uh, Now we will be beginning with our session. Today I'll be your court master. My name is Samiksha, and we are having judges with us. We're having Biswajit Patra ji and Ajit Kumar ji. Biswajit Patra sir has been uh, having a practice of about 15 years in criminal and banking laws. He has handled major panels of relating to Bank of Baroda, National Insurance Company, DHC, LSC, etc. He has been a part of coal scam case, Sajjan Singh case, PK Thungun's case, Jharkhand horse trading case, etc. We welcome you, sir. Uh, Next, we are having with us Ajit Kumar, sir. Ajit ji has been having a practice of more than 15 years in civil and criminal cases. He has also handled major panels such as jail panels for Delhi High Court and Rajasthan Roadways panels, rail land development panels, and SBI panels. Sir has in his name major judgments which are reported in law journals. We welcome you, sir. I request you all to kindly follow all the rules teams, and please kindly provide me the time distribution among your speakers so that we can begin the session. So, team 545, please tell me your bifurcation of the times.
Will be dealing next 10 minutes
team 545.
Yes, ma'am.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Audible.
Yeah, can you please repeat team 545?
I'm 545 for the
Your voice is breaking. Your voice is breaking, speaker. Please just tell me the time bifurcation first of all. Any one of you.
first 15 minutes.
13 minutes. 50.
15 minutes for speaker 1 and 10 minutes for speaker 2 and 5 minutes for rebuttal.
Okay. Next, 576. Please tell yours.
Yes, ma'am. 15 minutes for speaker 1 and 10 minutes for speaker 2 and 5 minutes for rebuttal.
Okay, okay. ठीक है. So, sir, with your due permission, can we begin the courtroom?
Yes, proceed.
So, I just request the prosecution to begin their case.
A very warm greetings to the Honorable Judge. The prosecution seeks permission of the Honorable Court to address the bench as your Lordship.
You can call us, sir.
Much obliged, sir, your Lordship. May it please the court, my team code is 545. Counsel for the prosecution in the present case, state of NIA versus Sameer and others. Your Lordship, the prosecution will specifically be dealing with issues first, second, and third, whereas issue first is whether the accused is guilty under section 120B, that is criminal conspiracy. Issue 2, that is whether accused is guilty under section 489B and 489C of IPC. Issue number 3 is whether the accused is guilty under section 121 and 123. Your Lordship, issue 4 and 5, whether that is whether the accused is guilty under section 16, 17, 18, and 20 of UAPA Act 1967, and whether the accused is guilty under sections 201 of IPC will be dealt by my co-counsel. If your Lordship is well versed with the facts of the case, may the counsel proceed with the submission of the arguments.
Please.
Much obliged, your Lordship. Your Lordship, issue number 1, that is whether the accused is guilty under section 120B of criminal conspiracy. The prosecution seeks issue number 1, that is whether the accused are guilty of criminal conspiracy. The first of all, Section 120A of the Indian Penal Code 1860 defines criminal conspiracy. It states that when 2 or more persons agree to do or cause to do an illegal act, or an act which is not illegal by illegal means, such agreement is designated a criminal conspiracy. Under Section 118 of the Indian Evidence Act 1872 mandates that all the persons shall be competent witness unless they are prevented from understanding or answering the questions put to them by virtue of tender years. So in the instant case, your Lordship, all the witnesses are competent witnesses. We inferred from circumstances raising a presumption of common plan to carry out the local design. It is in the facts disclosed during the examination by Special Cell Delhi Police at he used to receive commission on each deed, which is the proof of their agreement. The agreement was an act in advancement of the intention which each person has conceived in his mind. Your Lordship, the prosecution seeks permission to share the screen.
Please.
Much obliged, Your Lordship. I hope my screen is visible, Your Lordship.
Yes.
Much obliged, Your Lordship. Would like to refer to the 17.1 in which Sameer and Monu, the accused, has disclosed that he and his companion, that is Monu, used to receive 10% commission on each deal. He also disclosed that he and Monu used to receive consignments of FICNs, that is, fake Indian currency notes from Kalechak Malda, and travel in general coach of trains, as it was comparatively safe, which shows their planning while traveling through the train, that they are being safer and they are being safer and going through the train for the tension of mind and meeting of their minds together. The prosecution relies on the prosecution relies also on the case law, that is Yogesh alias Sachin Jagdish Joshi versus State of Maharashtra, that is in the year 2008 of Supreme Court. In the case, it was held that to constitute an offense of conspiracy, meeting of mind of two or more persons is the sine qua non. Express agreement, the actual meeting or the work of communication need not be proved. According to the definition of criminal conspiracy, two or more persons must be parties to such an agreement. One person alone can never be held guilty of criminal conspiracy for the simple reason that one cannot conspire with oneself. In the instant case, it is evident that there existed an agreement between the three accused. That is, they used to receive 10% commission on each deal, and three accused to commit the bomb blast on 15 August by utilizing the FICNs, that is fake Indian currency notes, which Sameer and Monu were trafficking to Pulwama, Jammu and Kashmir for the purpose to hand over accused 4, that is Peter. Both the accused, that is Sameer and Monu, disclosed the involvement of other accused, that is Kalu Mama, from where they procured the FICNs, basically from Kalechak Malda. Besides the fact that Kalu Mama was not found with Sameer and Monu, but he will also be held guilty of criminal conspiracy, as in the case K.R. Purushothaman versus State All India report, that is in the year 2006. It was held that to constitute a conspiracy, meeting of mind of two or more persons for doing an illegal act or an act by illegal means is the first and primary condition. But it is not necessary that all the conspirators must know each and every detail of conspiracy, which was also held in the case Mir Nagvi Askari versus CBI in the year 2009 of the Supreme Court cases. So, Your Lordship, neither it is necessary that every one of the conspirators takes an active part in the commission of each and every conspirational act, which was held in the case CBI versus Dr. Anup Kumar Srivastav in the year 2017-3 RCR Criminal of Supreme Court. In the instant case, it can be even if the prosecution realized that the didn't have the knowledge that they were not aware of the fact that the currency were fake. even then the conspirators will be liable for the offense of conspiracy, as it was, as mentioned earlier, it was held in the case of Ajay Agarwal versus Union of India in the year 1993 of Supreme Court cases. It is submitted on the basis of above submissions, case laws, and the provisions of the Indian Penal Code that the essentials of the offence are fulfilled in this particular case, and hence the accused is guilty under section 120B of IPC. Now the prosecution will be dealing with issue number 2, that is whether the accused are guilty of using and possession of counterfeit currency notes. It is humbly submitted before the Honorable Court that the accused Sameer Monu and Kalu Mama are guilty of offences under section 489B and 489C for using as genuine, forged or counterfeit currency notes or banknotes, and possession of possession of the counterfeit currency notes, respectively, by all of them. It is to be noted that the essential elements of section 489B and 489C are as follows. One knew or had reason to believe that the note kept in his possession was forged. Second, his intention was to use it as genuine. It is very difficult. It is very difficult to adduce direct evidence on this aspect to ascertain mens rea or intention of the accused, and same can be inferred, Your Lordship, from
Counsel,
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Lordship.
can you please tell us the role of each accused?
Yes, sir. I'll be continuing with it in the issue further, Your Lordship.
I mean, before going to the legal or section-wise submissions, would you be able to, I mean, provide us what are the individual role of each accused?
Your Lordship, may I brief you with the facts once? Am I audible?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, Your Lordship. A special cell police raided the general coach of the train on the basis of some secret information, Your Lordship. During the search, Your Lordship, two suspects.
Counsel, I'm just asking the specific role of each of the accused.
Why in the conspiracy, Your Lordship?
In the entire case, because conspiracy comes later. There has to be a substantive offense first, then only the conspiracy comes, right?
Yeah, indeed, Your Lordship.
So, what is the substantive offense in this case?
Your Lordship, in the case, Sameer and Monu were not aware of the facts that they were dealing. Even if we consider that they were not aware of the fact that they were dealing with, they were in possession or they were in dealing with the counterfeited currency. But since they were found with the large amount of money, so they can be held in crucial role in the main as a crucial role in the facts or in the offense, Your Lordship. And Kalu Mama was the person who provided the accused Sameer and Monu with the counterfeited currency, Your Lordship. And Peter was the person who gave Kalu Mama the counterfeited currency notes, and then the Kalu Mama provided with the further accused, that is Sameer and Monu, Your Lordship. We can say the main conspirators.
Yes.
Indeed, Your Lordship. We can say the main conspirators were Kalu Mama and Peter, Your Lordship. So in issue number 2, it is very difficult to adduce direct evidence on this aspect to ascertain mens rea or intention of the accused, and saying can be inferred from circumstances and conduct of the accused, and if he is not able to give any satisfactory explanation for coming into possession of such articles, then it may give an inference that he had intention and knowledge as contemplated under section 489B of IPC. Your Lordship, knowledge and intention are state of mind which cannot be proved by direct evidence and have to be conferred from attending circumstances. It was held in the case Sridhar versus State in the year 2010 of RCR 2305. In the above case, Your Lordship, it is clearly established that Sameer and Monu were very well aware that they were carrying forged currency notes by hiding in secret cavity of the bag. The prosecution seeks permission to refer to the given facts in the case by sharing the screen, Your Lordship.
Please.
Much obliged, Your Lordship. Your Lordship, we can from here refer that the same was kept in the secret cavity.
Which document you are referring to? Sorry.
Would
Hello.
also refer to
Yes.
they also, Your Lordship, they were planning for the few days went to Malda, West Bengal to meet Kalu Mama, who was the person that would have been providing them with the currency. With them the currency. This can be established from the given facts of the case, from the location which was given by experts in the table, in which their location and they were in constant touch with each other, which shows the meeting of their minds, and they were very well aware of the fact, since their location of mobile was traced by the experts, and they were found from traveling from Madhya Pradesh to West Bengal and then Delhi. Then he was in constant touch with Monu, Kalu Mama, and Peter, which shows the meeting of their minds, and they were in constant touch with each other, Your Lordship. It is clearly evident through their phone calls that they were in constant touch with Kalu Mama, Your Lordship. We can establish this from here, and they were in constant touch in the table provided by the experts and call detailed records of the Sameer, Monu, and Kalu Mama Peter. They were in constant touch with each other, Your Lordship. Further, Your Lordship, it is humbly submitted that appellant had the knowledge that the currency note was not genuine, which is supported by their knowledge of doing bomb blast with this currency, and they note that as Peter received the FICN, the bomb blast took place. The prosecution relies on the fact Savinder Kaur versus State, UT Chandigarh, in the year of Punjab and Haryana High Court. In the case, accused are liable under offences section 489B, 489A, 489C, and section 120B of IPC. In this case, Your Lordship, a heavy amount of currency, of fake currency notes, was found from the accused, and which is itself an indicator of the fact that petitioner is the vital and crucial link in the chain where a number of persons are involved in flooding of the currency with the counterfeit, flooding the country with the counterfeit currency, Your Lordship. The council would also refer to another case, that is Narendra Prasad versus State of Bengal in the year 2017 of Supreme Court cases. In the given how he got the in this case a lot was to explain.
Time is up for speaker number one. Time is up for speaker number one. And kindly keep your chat box open so that you can check when I'm putting up the messages for timings. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. It is submitted on the basis of above submissions, case laws, and provisions of Indian Penal Code that the essentials of the offences are fulfilled in the particular case, and hence the accused is guilty under section 489P and 489C of IPC.
Madam, tell me one
Now,
thing. Madam, tell me one thing. What is the difference between 489B and C? And how he is covered in 489B? Why can't you
Indeed.
489C?
In section 489B, the lordship, they were the main ingredients were that they were in dealing with the fake Indian currency notes, and in section 489C of the IPC, the accused had the possession of the counterfeit currency notes or bank notes in their with them, your lordship.
I think this deal has not been completed. Only the possession was there.
Yes, your lordship. Deal was Kalu Mama provided them with the counterfeit currency, and they had the agreement with 10% commission on each deal, your lordship.
Okay.
Now, my any further queries? Any further questions, your lordship?
And Leonard Senior was asking, since you are saying 489B is also committed, can you just tell us who is the accused you are pointing out that he has committed 489B?
Sir, your lordship accused Samir and accused number 2, that is Monu.
Have they sold anything?
They were having of the counterfeit currency notes, and they took it
So
from
you are basically
Kalu
talking
Mama.
about possession.
Also, they had taken it from Kalu Mama, which shows their deal in the counterfeit currency notes, your lordship.
So you are basically saying that as per 489B, this is the third thing which is receipts from.
Yes,
Because of which Samir is guilty of 489B.
yeah, indeed, your lordship. Indeed, your lordship. They received it from Kalu Mama, but they were caught in the mid by the special cell of Delhi police. They were about to trade in it, and they had to transfer it to Peter, who was in Pulwama, Jammu and Kashmir, your lordship.
All right.
My co-counsel will be dealing with the issues 3rd, 4th, and 5th of IPC, your lordship.
Yes, am I clearly audible? I just wanted to confirm.
Yes.
Much obliged, your lordship. So, greetings to your lordship. This is speaker number 2 from the side of prosecution. And if it may please the honorable court, the counsel seeks permission to submit for the submissions.
Please.
Much obliged, your lordship. So, your lordship, I will be dealing with the issue number 4 and 5. So, first issue is whether the accused are culpable under section 16, 17, 18, and 20 of Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. So, first, if I talk about the section 16 of Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, so section 16 basically provides the punishment for terrorist act. Now, your lordship, it is to be not.
You're not dealing with issue number 3?
Indeed, your lordship, after I'll get the time. Actually, I am left with only 5 minutes, so I want to cover the issue number 4. Much obliged, your lordship. Your lordship, it is to be noted that the essential elements of the offences to fall in the category of terrorist act are provided under section 15 of the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. Now, your lordship, counsel seeks permission to present the screen for the purpose to present the memorial.
Please.
Much obliged, Your Lordship. So, Your Lordship, if you refer to the page number 27 of the memorial, then here the main ingredients of the section 15 for terrorist act are whoever does any act with intent or intent to threaten or likely to threaten the unity, integrity, security, or sovereignty of India, or with intent to strike terror or likely to strike terror in the people or any section of the people in India or in any foreign country. So here, the part A, by using bombs, dynamite, or any other explosive substances or inflammable substances or firearms, which is likely to cause death or injuries to any person, and loss or damage to or destruction of property and disruption of any supplies or services essential to the life of the community in India or in any foreign country. Sir Lordship, it is given that whoever further, Your Lordship, the council would like to bring the point forward that here the accused, that is Samir Monu and Kalu Mema, plan to utilize the fake Indian currency notes for the purpose of bomb blast in Pulwama. So, as by the statement of Rupinder Singh, Superintendent of Police, under Section 161 of CRPC, Your Lordship, if you refer to the page number 50 of memorial, here. So here it was disclosed by the accused Samir. It was disclosed by the accused Samir that that uh, admitted the involvement in the case. That he was planning. They were planning to carry out bomb blast in Pulwama on Indian convoy by 15th August, and he further informed that the Sohail, who was also in touch with Lashkar-e-Taiba, senior people from Pakistan, the accused Monu also admitted his involvement in the case and disclosed the involvement of other accused person, namely Kalu Mama and Sohail. He further informed that Sohail had received instructions from Pakistan and Bangladesh with a blast code, दुल्हन को सजाने का वक्त आ गया है, blast as soon as fake Indian currency notes reaches Pulwama to Sohail. So further, Your Lordship, if you refer to the page number 28 of the memorial, so here, the Samir and Monu were trafficking the fake Indian currency notes, which were also disclosed in the facts that both the accused Samir and Monu were found with fake Indian currency notes at New Delhi in General Coach number 2 of Faraka Express. Officers of PS Special Cell of Delhi Police detained Samir and Monu, and further during search of their baggage, 250 notes of high quality fake Indian currency notes were equivalent to the face value of 5 lakhs were recovered from the black color bag of accused Samir, and the same was recovered from the maroon color bag of accused Monu. On the examination of expert opinion of Central Forensic Science Laboratory, the Delhi High Court seized fake Indian currency notes, and it was found of high quality. Now the section 7. Now moving on the section 17, the punishment for raising funds for terrorist act. Here, Your Lordship, if you refer to the page number 31 of memorial. So it provides the purpose, for the purpose of this section 17, there must be participation, organizing, or directing in any of the acts stated therein shall constitute an offense. Raising funds shall include raising or collecting or providing funds through production or smuggling or circulation of high quality counterfeit Indian currency. So further, your lordship, in the preposition, it is very clearly mentioned. Your lordship, if you refer to the page number 47, so here it was disclosed by the statement of witness Iqbal Singh, that who was the common friend of Samir and Monu, that Samir was looking for some passionate volunteers who could help him raising funds and sensitizing people against the malpractices of government towards the oppressed people of the society. So further, then Iqbal Singh also introduced Kalu Mama to Samir, and he also revealed that one day Samir came to him with the news that Monu with Samir want to do something big. And he also told that once in a public gathering, Kalu Mama made some blatant remark like India not being a good country worth living and country of intolerance, and also said Dulhan ko sajana padega. Now this quote was we very well know that this quote was code for bomb blast which they were planning to carry out on 15th August in Pulwama. So further, moving to section 18, which provides punishment for conspiracy. Now your lordship, if you refer to the page number 31 of the memorial, so here the punishment
Time
of
has already been exceeded by the team 45. I request the judges to take up the defense side now.
So we'll give only 1 minute grace to sum up from the prosecution side.
Indeed, your lordship. So your lordship, as your lordship, as the act shows their intention and fulfills all the ingredients mentioned to held guilty under section 16, 17, 18, and 20 of Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. So I humbly submit that all the three accused should be liable under the section, as their malice intention shows that they were they were in conspiracy and to do something illegal act, that is a bomb blast in Pulwama. So that's all, your lordship.
Tell me one thing. Have you got the sanction to prosecute them?
Pardon, your lordship.
Have you got the sanction to prosecute them?
Yes, your lordship. As there are enough evidences by the police and the National Investigation Agency, and if I refer to the section 27 of Indian Evidence Act, as their acts leads to the discovery of an unknown fact, and that's why they must be held guilty under the given sections.
And my question is, have you got the sanction to prosecute them under UAP Act?
Pardon, your lordship.
Have you got the sanction from the competent authority to prosecute them?
Indeed, your lordship. Yes, your lordship.
Have you referred during the course of argument?
Yes, your lordship.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next defense. Who will speak first?
Yes. I would be speaker 1. Greetings, judges. Today we, code number 576, will be representing defense side. Your lordship, the counsel, if the court is well versed with the fact, may the counsel proceed towards issues framed.
Yes. Go ahead.
Issue number 1.
With with permission of my learned senior, I would like to ask them to address the facts in nutshell,
Much obliged, Your Lordship.
or specifically confining it to the prosecution's allegation against each accused and vis-a-vis your defense.
Much obliged, Your Lordship. Your Lordship, prosecution has framed charges against Samir, accused number 1, which is forged currency, waging war against state, and under Unlawful Prevention Act. The defense for Samir is that they were not having the knowledge that they were carrying fake currency. Second, they were not the part of the conspiracy which is supposed to be happening, which is presumed that it was happening against government. And third, against unlawful prevention activities, there were no instruments which were recovered from the accused person's house or anywhere regarding the offences which are framed against the accused persons Samir, Kalu, and Monu. All the three were having the statements given were in front of policemen and not in front of magistrates. So the whole case which is framed against accused are based on presumptions that it is kind of a like story framing against all the accused because they were having fake currency, but they were not aware of that they are carrying fake currency. They were aware that they just have to deliver the bag. And also the statement of Kalu is that they were collecting the funds for the oppressed people, and the funds are fake currency. They were not aware of about the specific circumstances. Your Lordship, that's it. May the council proceed towards issues framed?
Yes.
Much obliged, Your Lordship. Issue number 1. Whether accused persons are guilty of criminal conspiracy under Section 120B of Indian Penal Code 1860. Issue number 2. Whether accused persons are guilty of using forged or counterfeit currency notes under Section 489B or Section 489C of Indian Penal Code 1860. Issue number 3. Whether accused persons are guilty under Section 121 and Section 123 of Indian Penal Code 1860. And issue number 4. Whether accused persons are guilty under Section 201 of Indian Penal Code 1860. And fifth, whether accused persons are guilty under Section 16, 17, 18, 20 of Unlawful Activities Prevention Act 1967. Your Lordship, first three issues will be dealt by Speaker 1, and issue number 4 and issue number 5 will be dealt by my co-speaker. Your Lordship, may the council proceed towards summary of arguments.
Just a second. What is the PDF page number of your issues?
Your Lordship, council pleads ignorance for not mentioning the page number. Will just after the synopsis of facts.
No, PDF. That's why I asked you PDF page number.
Your Lordship, council begs pardon. I have some technical glitches, so I'm carrying my paper PDF. My
Hard copy.
yes, Your Lordship.
All right.
May the council proceed, Your Lordship?
Yes.
Much obliged, Your Lordship. Issue number 1. Whether accused persons are guilty of criminal conspiracy under Section 120B of Indian Penal Code 1860. It is humbly submitted that every person accused of crime is presumed to be innocent unless and until proven guilty by the prosecution. This means that in every criminal proceeding, the law starts off with a presumption in favor of the accused person that the concerned person is innocent of the crime accused of. Starting from this presumption of innocence of the accused, it is always for the prosecutions to establish beyond reasonable doubt all the essential ingredients of the crime, including the mens rea, to prove the guilt of the accused. Thus, the burden of proving the guilt of accused rests solely and entirely on the prosecution. Issue number 2. Whether accused persons are guilty of using forged counterfeit currency notes under Section 489B and Section 489C of Indian Penal Code 1860. It is humbly submitted that for the purpose of bringing home the guilt under Section 489B of Indian Penal Code, the knowledge or the reason to believe that the currency notes to be forged or counterfeit has to be established by the prosecution. Similarly, for the purpose of bringing home the guilt under Section 489C of IPC, the knowledge or reason to believe and the intention to use the forged or counterfeit currency notes as genuine or its possibility of being so used must be established against accused. Issue number 3, whether accused persons are guilty under section 121 and 123 of Indian Penal Code. It is humbly submitted that accused persons are not guilty of waging war as there is no material evidence against them, and the most essential part to attract this provision is mens rea and actus reus. Actus reus of criminal action is the essential physical element of the criminal liability, while mens rea functions as the essential mental element. Actus reus culpable action in Latin is required to determine whether a crime has been committed, while mens rea guilty mind in Latin is considered in determining the severity of criminal offense. Issue number 4, whether accused persons are guilty under section 201 of Indian Penal Code. It is humbly submitted that the instant matter accused persons are not guilty under section 201 of Indian Penal Code as reasonable ground to believe the expression means that there should exist a prima facie evidence in support of the existence of conspiracy between two accused, and it is then only that anything said, done or written by one and can be used against the other. Issue number 5, whether accused persons guilty under section 16, 17, 18, 20 of Unlawful Activities Prevention Act 1961, it is humbly submitted that realities or truth apart, the fundamental and basic presumption of administration of criminal law and the justice delivery system is the innocence of alleged accused until the charges are proved beyond reasonable doubt on the basis of clear, cogent, credible or unimplicable evidence. The question of indicating or punishing an accused does not arise merely by carrying away by heinous nature of crime or grievous manner in which it has to be found have been committed. Your Lordship, if the court is satisfied with the summary of arguments, may the counsel proceed towards body of arguments, issue number 1. Much obliged, Your Lordship. Issue number 1. Whether accused persons are guilty of criminal conspiracy under section 120B of Indian Penal Code 1860. It is humbly submitted that section 120B of Indian Penal Code is punishment of criminal conspiracy. It is humbly submitted that mens rea, the intention of law, when it stipulates that mens rea or guilty intention is the sine qua non of a criminal act and is an essential element of a crime. The object of law is always to punish a person with a guilty mind. It does not want to put behind bars an innocent person who may had an intention of participating in it. In Ravule Hari Prasad Rao versus State, the Supreme Court ruled that unless a statute clearly or by necessary implication rules out a mens rea as a constituent element of a crime, a person should not be held guilty of an offense unless he had guilty mind at the time of commission of act. It is humbly submitted that proof that the accused was in possession of forged note would not have the effect of shifting burden or to the accused of proving his innocence. Knowledge or reasonable to believe on the part of the accused that the notes were forged must also have to be established as stated in the matter of Madan Lal Sharma versus State of West Bengal. It is humbly submitted that conspiracy is agreement between two or more persons to commit an offense. The mere meeting of minds of the parties to commit an offense is conspiracy. An offense occurs when two or more persons agree to do an illegal act, two or more persons cause to do an illegal act. If two or more persons agree to do an legal act by illegal means, and two or more persons cause to be done a legal act by illegal means. Now, it is humbly submitted that common intention, these words signifies a common intention existing at the time when thing was said, done or written by one of them. Things said, done or written while the conspiracy was on foot are relevant as evidence of common intention once reasonable ground has been shown to believe in its existence, as stated in the matter of Mirza Akbar versus Emperor. In the instant matter, accused 1, Samir, Monu, accused 2, and Kalu, accused 3, are not having common intention and hence are not guilty under section 120B. Your Lordship, if the court is satisfied with the issue number 1, may the counsel proceed towards issue number 2. Much obliged, Your Lordship. Issue number 2. Whether accused persons are guilty of using forged or counterfeit currency notes under section 489B and section 489C of Indian Penal Code 1860. It is humbly submitted that accused persons would contend that burden to show that currency notes were fake and the accused persons had intention or knowledge to commit an offense was upon the prosecution, and further the prosecution did not prove the crucial ingredients mens rea, which is must for bringing home the guilt of accused person under provision of section 489A to 489D of IPC. It is humbly submitted that section 489B of Indian Penal Code says using forged or counterfeit currency or banknotes, whoever to or buys or receive from any other person or otherwise traffics in or uses as genuine any forged or counterfeit currency notes or banknote knowing or having reason to believe the same to be forged or counterfeit shall be punished with imprisonment for life or with imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to 10 years or shall also be liable for fine. It is humbly submitted that for the purpose of bringing home the guilt under section 489B of IPC, the knowledge or reason to believe that currency notes to be forged or counterfeit has to be established by prosecution. Similarly, for the purpose of bringing home the guilt under section 489C of IPC, the knowledge or reason to believe and the intention to use the forged or counterfeit money note as genuine or its possibility of being used must be established against accused. In this connection, it is worthwhile to extract the observation made by the Honorable Apex Court in the case of Umesh Shankar versus State of Chhattisgarh. A perusal of provision extracted above shows that mens rea of offense under section 489B and 489C is knowing or having reason to believe the currency notes or bank notes are forged or counterfeit. Without the aforesaid mentioned mens rea, selling, buying or receiving from other person or otherwise trafficking or using genuine forged counterfeit code is not enough to constitute under section 489B of IPC. So also possession or even intending to use any forged counterfeit currency or bank notes is not sufficient to make under section 489C in the absence of mens rea. No material is brought on record by the prosecution to show that the appellant had the requisite mens rea, as stated in the matter of M. Mumuti versus State of Karnataka. It is humbly submitted that no material is brought on the record by the prosecution to show that the convicted person, accused number 1 to 3, has requisite mens rea. It is humbly submitted that criminal jurisprudence, the case of prosecution would rest on its strength, and while dealing with the serious question of guilt or innocence of the person charged with the crime, the onus of proving everything else to be established of charge against accused lies on prosecution. Your Lordship, if the court is satisfied with issue number 2, may the counsel proceed towards issue number 3. Much obliged, Your Lordship. I couldn't hear you, but I saw your expression, so I would proceed. Issue number 3. Whether accused persons are guilty under section 121 and section 123 of Indian Penal Code 1860. What is section 121 of Indian Penal Code? Whoever wages war against government of India or attempts to wage such a war or abates the waging of such war shall be punished with death or imprisonment for life and shall also be liable for fine. It is humbly submitted that there is no iota of evidence for the offense of criminal conspiracy under section 120B of IPC. There are two essential features to be noted with respect to waging war. The object to be accomplished must be of public nature. There must be direct strike against the government's authority. The number of persons participating, however they equipped or armed, are no consequence. The important thing is what with mind or object they assemble. There is no difference between a principal and an accessory in this office. It is humbly submitted that accused persons are not guilty of waging war as there is no material evidence against them, and the most essential part to attract this provision is mens rea and actus reus. Actus reus or criminal action is essential physical element of criminal liability, while mens rea functions are essentials. Now it is humbly submitted that section 123 of Indian Penal Code says, concealing with intent to design a wage war. Whoever by any act or by any illegal omission conceals the existence of to design war against government, intending by such concealment to facilitate or knowing it to be likely that concealment will facilitate the waging of war shall be punished with imprisonment. Now it is humbly submitted that framing of charges directly affect person's liability substantially. The court has to apply decisions. There is ground for presuming that the commission of offense by accused, in other words, whether the material brought on record would reasonably connect the accused with the crime, and no more required to be into in the series of pronouncements of Honorable Apex Court. It is held that in order framing of charges affects person's liability substantially, and therefore it is the duty of the court to consider judicially whether material warrants the framing of the charges. It is humbly submitted that prosecution cannot succeed just by showing that this defense has raised suspicion, as stated in the matter of J. Naidu versus State of Maharashtra, and now Jagdish versus State of Rajasthan. Now, if the court is satisfied with issue number 3, may my co-speaker proceed towards issue number 4.
Just a second, counsel. Can you hear me?
Yes, Your Lordship.
Can you please tell us the statement? दुल्हन को सजाने का वक्त हो गया है. It was under which context you had said?
Your Lordship, दुल्हन को सजाने का वक्त हो गया was stated by Suhail while Kalu and Suhail were on call, and according to Kalu, it was because that government is trying to do something against the rally or against the propaganda they were having. So it was a kind of the statement given out of anger, and it has nothing to do with the project they were doing to for the benefit of the people who are oppressed in our society.
So it was out of anger, you have said.
Your Lordship, that statement is given by Suhail, who is not arrested, who is not under the present circumstances, and
But
who is
if you
presumed to be
see the
Yes.
call details and the tower locations, that shows the meeting of mind.
Your Lordship, no accused, Samir, Monu, Kalu, all have them accepted that they were friends. All of them has accepted that they were working for the oppressed people of the society. So there were call recordings, they were call logs, they were not call recordings. So there is no evident proof that they were having conversation regarding this. There were no chats. They were on the same location because they were working for the specific propaganda, which is for the oppressed people in the society. They were trying to raise the issues about the government is making fake policies.
So do you agree with two things? One is you all were in touch and known to each other. Second
Yes, your
thing,
lordship.
there was a statement of दुल्हन को सजाने का वक्त हो गया है. At
Yes,
the
your
same
lordship.
time, the currencies were recovered.
Yes, your lordship.
At the same time, the prosecution's allegation of your preparation for a bomb blast, that is also there.
Your lordship, may the council proceed towards this reaction. Your lordship, I want to answer that in the instant case, there were no recovery of any material regarding bomb blast. First. Second, fake currency. So Samir and Monu has denied that they had any idea about that they are carrying fake currency, as accepted by my worthy opponent. Third, they were in touch. They were touch, and the statement, this Dulhan ko sajane ka, has been misused in many circumstances.
Did you bring something on record that how they got that bag?
Your lordship, the purpose for the propaganda, where the propaganda of Kalu, Samir, Monu, Sohail was for the betterment of oppressed society. They wanted to collect fund so that they could spread
Did
the
you bring on
awareness.
record from whom you have collected that particular denomination?
Your lordship, council is in the view that present scenario is framed unlogically against the accused, and they didn't get the opportunity to present it as there is the first time they are appearing in front of the court. They require to acquit because in the present circumstances, all the statements given by accused is in front of police, which is not admissible. There are no material evidence to prove that there are the circumstances which are connecting dots. They are connected. It is just
But
kind
the
of
recovery is there.
Yes, your lordship. Your lordship, Samir and Monu were in the opinion that they were carrying the real money, the money which is not fake,
So
not
have you
forced.
mentioned it to the police or before the court that whom you had received that amount?
Your lordship, as stated by Samir and Monu, it was given by Kalu. Also, in front of police, the statements in front of police is also not admissible. So the purpose of giving statement in front of police denies. And
Counsel, I am asking precisely the same thing.
yes, your lordship.
You are saying the statement made before the police is not admissible. At the same time, you yourself is relying on the statement made before the police.
Your lordship, statement made by in front of statement recorded by accused, individual accused. They wanted to clarify their circumstances, their present circumstances. The
Okay.
story of Kalu, Monu, and Samir all are similar, and in the instant manner, it seems like the justice has not been done with the accused because the administration is not active enough to realize that there are no material evidence for the instant matter, and that's
All
it,
right.
your lordship.
Proceed.
Much obliged, your lordship.
If your lordship is satisfied with issue number 3, may the council proceed to issue number 4?
Yeah.
Much obliged, your lordship. So issue number 4, whether accused persons are guilty under section 201 of Indian Penal Code 1860. It is humbly submitted that section 201 in Indian Penal Code says causing disappearance of evidence of offense, or giving false information to screen offender. Whoever, knowing or having reason to believe that an offense has been committed, causes any evidence of the commission of that offense to disappear, with the intention of screening the offender from legal punishment, or with the intention gives any information respecting to the offender which he knows or believes to be false. If it is a capital offense, shall, if the offense which he knows or believes to have been committed is punishable with death, be punished with the imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to 7 years, and shall be also liable to fine. If the punishment with imprisonment for life, and if the offense is punishable with imprisonment of life or with imprisonment which may extend to 10 years, shall be punished with imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to 3 years, and shall also be liable to fine. If punishment with less than 10 years imprisonment, and if the offender is punishable with imprisonment for term which not exceeding 10 years, shall be punished with imprisonment for the description provided for the offense, for a term which may extend to 1/4 part of the longest term of the imprisonment provided for the offense, or with fine, or with both. It is humbly submitted that circumstances, either any oral or documentary evidence, not coming forth in support of the prosecution case, it is contended by the state in that said ground that if the same has happened because of omission commission of duty on the part of prosecution, witnesses, or the investigation agency, or other officers concerned, the learned trial judge is required to ensure that miscarriage of judge is avoided. It is humbly submitted that essential ingredients to establish offense under section 201 of IPC, the court, while
Counsel?
elaborating, yes.
What is that miscarriage of?
Sorry. Miscarriage
Yes,
of justice. The learned trial judge is required to ensure that miscarriage of the judge is avoided.
Miscarriage of the judge.
Sorry, miscarriage of the justice. I'm so sorry, my lord. I'm so sorry. Miscarriage of the justice is avoided. It is humbly submitted that the essential ingredients to establish offense under section 201 of IPC, the court, while elaborating on this point, made reference to plethora of judgment that stated that in the instant case, the prosecution failed to satisfy the ingredients under section 201 of the IPC. 1. In this context, it would be relevant to reproduce the essential ingredients of section 201 of the IPC. 2. To bring home an offense under section 201 IPC, the ingredient to be established are 3. Committal of an offense. 4. Person charged with an offense under section 201 must have the knowledge or reason to believe that an offense has been committed. 5. Person charged with the said offense should be caused disappearance of evidence, and the act should have been done with the intention of screening the offender from legal punishment, or with the intention he should have given information respecting to offense which he knows or believes to be false. It is humbly submitted that it is not correct to say that when the prosecution has adduced such evidence as the circumstances and nature of the case required, it is for the accused to establish his innocence, and it is sufficient if he succeed in raising a doubt as to his guilt, as stated in Mangilal versus State of Rajasthan, 1953, and Nirmala versus Rukmini Bai, 1994. In criminal trial, burden of proof squarely rests upon prosecution.
Counsel,
Examining, yes, madam.
what is the allegation against you? How you tried to destroy the evidence?
My lordship, first of all, there was no material evidence. So,
No, what is the allegation I'm asking?
Okay, the allegation on Kalu Mama is that he destroyed the evidences, which was as police says that from Peter's house they searched for several times, but they did not collect anything because Kalu Mama has destroyed all the evidences. But there was nothing found, so we cannot say that if he really destroyed that or not.
No, of course. I mean, if it is destroyed, then you won't get it.
But sir, there was no equipment to made a fake currency. There was nothing found, not even a single element. And as the statement of Kalu Mama, he said that he had no idea that it was a fake currency or what.
And what is your defense how Kalumama got in possession of that currency?
He said that he got that currency from Sohail, and he had no idea that it was a fake currency.
But you were representing all the accused.
Yes.
So how Sohail got that?
Sir, because Sohail died by the poisoning, suicide, so it was not cleared.
But
But
was there
as
any
per
disclosure statement of Sohail?
no, sir, there is no statement or any disclosure from Sohail.
So Sohail was never arrested and he died before his arrest and all.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, my lordship. The Peter died. Council plead ignorance, my lord. I'm so sorry.
Proceed.
Okay. So it is humbly submitted that it is not. I'm so sorry. I have to this. It is humbly submitted that reasonable ground to believe the expression means that there should be exit prima facie exist evidence in support of the existence of conspiracy between two accused, and it is that only that anything said, done, or written by one can used against the other. Uh, so, if your lordship is satisfied with issue number 4, may the council proceed towards issue number 5.
Yes, proceed.
Much obliged, your lordship. So, issue number 5, whether accused person guilty under section 16, 17, 18, 20, and 20 of Unlawful Activities Prevention Act 1967. Section 16 in Unlawful Activities Prevention Act 1967 states that punishment for terrorist act says whoever commits a terrorist act shall, in such act has resulted in the death of any person, be punishable with death or imprisonment for life, and shall also be liable to fine. In other in any other case, punishment with imprisonment for a term which shall not be less than 5 years, but which may extend to imprisonment for life, and shall also be liable to fine. In section 17 in Unlawful Activities Prevention Act 1967 states that punishment for raising funds for terrorist act. Whoever in India or in foreign country directly or indirectly raises or collects funds from provided funds to any person or attempts to provide funds to any person or persons knowing that such funds are likely to be used by such person or persons to commit an terrorist attack, notwithstanding whether such funds were actually used or not for commission of such act, shall be punished with imprisonment for term which shall not be less than 5 years, but which may extend to imprisonment for life, and shall also be liable to fine. In section 18 of Unlawful Activities Prevention Act 1967 states that punishment for conspiracy and etc. Whoever conspires or attempts to commit or advocate, abets, advises, or knowingly facilitate the commission of a terrorist act or any act preparatory to the commission of a terrorist act shall be punished with imprisonment for term which shall not be less than 5 years, but which may extend to imprisonment for life, and shall also be liable to fine. In section 20 of Unlawful Activities Prevention Act 1967 states that punishment for being member of terrorist gang or organization says any person who is a member of a terrorist gang or a terrorist organization which is involved in terrorist act shall be punished with imprisonment for a term which may extend to imprisonment for life, and shall also be liable to fine. It is humbly submitted that prosecution cannot succeed just by showing that the defense raised and suspicions. Um, as stated in Naidu versus State of Maharashtra 19679, Jagdish versus State of Rajasthan 1976.
Madam, only one question you are losing time also. Only single question. Are you admitting any of the offense mentioned in the charge sheet?
No, my lord, your lordship.
You are not even 489C also. No, you are not admitting.
Sorry, my
You
lordship.
are not admitting even 489C possession of the fake currency.
Yes, my lordship, but they had no idea that they were carrying fake currency.
Forget what the fake idea. Ignorance of law is no excuse. At
Sorry,
least you will have to admit the offense which is already in possession with you.
Yes, indeed, your lordship. But Samir, Monu, and Kalu Mama, all of three of them, they had no idea that that was a fake currency. And yes, that was a fake currency. But we can't accept that they knew. So we can't accept your lordship that.
And there are two things. Somebody prosecuted for arms act. It doesn't mean he will be prosecuted for the murder if the arms is not used. But at least you will have to admit one thing, that I am for the arms act. No, I am not for the murder. You cannot say that I cannot be held for anything. For
Your
the sake
Lordship,
of it doesn't mean that you cannot accept anything.
Your Lordship, may the Council Speaker 1 speaks for this answer.
You will get the
Much
chance for
of-
rebuttal. You will get the chance for rebuttal. Just I am coming to you also.
Council beg pardon, Your Lordship.
Now the time for the rebuttal.
Uh, your lordship, counsel plead ignorance. So can I proceed, your lordship?
I think time is already lapsed. The time for the rebuttal.
Okay. Okay. So, your lordship, can I at least proceed towards prayer?
Yes. Of course. Some of the cases.
Therefore, in light of the issue raised, arguments advanced or authorized, cited, may this honorable court be pleased to acquit accused person for commission of offence under Unlawful Activities Prevention Act 1967 and Section 120B, 489B, 489C, 121, 201 of Indian Penal Code, as to pass any such order, discretion and judgment as this honorable court may deem fit in the interest of justice and equity and good conscience. Thank you, your lordship.
Yes, who is going for the rebuttal from a speaker?
Yes, Your Lordship, the Council seeks permission to move towards
Yes.
the rebuttal round. Much obliged, Your Lordship. Your Lordship, I beg to differ from the opposition that the statement was only given by Sohail, that is दुल्हन को सजाने का वक्त आ गया है, because as by the statement of witness, it was quite clear that Kalu Mama used the same court in rallies as well, due to which once their team have also got FIR lodged due to unlawful assembly, in which Monu was also there, and due to which it is also shown that the analysis of the CDRs and the phone data of the phone seized from accused Samir and Monu clearly establishes that their movement from the Madhya Pradesh to West Bengal and frequent telephonic conversation between Samir and Kalu Mama and telephonic contact between Peter and Kalu Mama on 23rd February 2015 prove their association with a criminal conspiracy. And further, Your Lordship, the investigation has clearly established that both Samir and Monu, in conspiracy with Kalu Mama, Peter, and Sohail, were closely associated as a gang, which was actively involved in a criminal conspiracy for purchase, procurement, transportation, and financing of extremely high quality, that is 10 lakhs of possession of fake Indian currency notes. So, also during examination in police custody, and by National Investigation Agency, Kalu Mama revealed that they had received fake Indian currency notes from Sohail. And during the course of investigation, the house of Sohail was also searched number of times, but incriminating substance could not be discovered as Kalu Mama had destroyed all the evidences. National investigation team found one witness named Shahrukh Khan, who claimed that he had seen Sohail on 20 June 2015 at about 8 a.m. with two persons, that is Kalu Mama and one unknown person in black kurta pajama, which shows that they were planning to carry out bomb blast, and they were in constant touch with each other regarding the same. So this whole act shows that they were very well aware of the entire act. And further, Your Lordship, the council humbly submits that in case Surinder Kaur versus state, it was held by the state that heavy amount recovered is in itself an indicator of the fact that petitioner is the vital uh, and crucial link in a chain, And further, in Narendra Prasad versus State of West Bengal, it was held that it is the duty of the accused uh, that according to section 106 of the Evidence Act to disclose as to how he got the currency notes. The entirely burden lies on the accused, how he got the currency, and no and can be given to the accused in view of seriousness of the offences. The accused was rightly convicted in the case law. And further, your lordship, it is humbly submitted to the court that the defense not able to disprove any issue raised as stated by the prosecution that counterfeit currency was in the secret, and it was also in the facts that counterfeit currency was in the secret cavity of their bags, which shows their intention, that which is the sign that both were knowing about the fake currency which were in the possession of them, that they were carrying the fake currency to utilize the same for the purpose of bomb blast in Pulwama. And also it is humbly submitted that all the accused are good friends, and accordingly to the cold details, they were also in constant touch with each other, and this conspire that they all know about the bomb blast, and each accused is involved in conspiracy. And also, your lordship, as they were traveling in the general coach of the Faraka Express, to remain safe, this shows their intention that to as Samir was also driver by profession, but still they preferred to go by train in the general coach of the train. So this shows that they were very well knows about the entire act and their malice intention. So that's all, your lordship. So accordingly, these all evidences, they must be held guilty in the section mentioned and the issues raised.
Any rebuttal from defense side?
Yes, Your Lordship.
Your
As
lordship,
my worthy opponent accepted that they were not accused, were not aware of the fake currency. It has been stated in the Uma Shankar versus State of Chhattisgarh that knowledge or reason to believe is the essential element to attract the provision of section 489B, section 489C. The intention, the mens rea, is really important. Second, your lordship, as my opponent counsel has stated that they have the witness of that who stated that he heard many times that one statement dulhan ko sajane ka is given by Kalu Mama, but that statement is given by Monu to Iqbal, and also Iqbal did not hear it clearly and directly, so that statement would be considered as hearsay and it should not be accepted. Second, again, the CDR records. These records are only showing that they were in touch, that does not show that they were conspiring against it. Thirdly, whenever they search in the Peter's house or Sohail's house or Kalu Mama's house, there were no evidence about at least about a fake currency funding they were attaching, which were fake. If they were supposed to have the fake currency, there must be some proof according to that. Also, any of the accused are not denying that they were in touch and they were having connection to uplift the oppressed society. Also, the secret captive of the bag. Normally, every citizen keeps even 100 rupees of the note in that secret bag so that he or she could travel safely in any general coach. Also, the Samir was driver, but he did not own his any car, and they were just having the bag, which they don't have no idea that what the bag contains. So, your lordship, the council pleads pardon, and may all the accused should be acquitted.
For all the offences?
Yes, your lordship.
Okay.
Your lordships, it has been pleasure to present the case in front of you. Thank you, your lordships.
Both the team has fought well, but during the course of one, we should go very genuine to the facts. There are so many offenses, but you will have to admit some offense which you have curated, or then that can be prosecuted. You cannot be liable for every offense, but you cannot be acquitted for every offense. And best of luck for all.
Thank you, your lordship.
Thank you, Your Lordship.
Thank you, Your Lordship.
I thank all the judges and the teams for their presence. You may teams may leave the courtroom.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Yeah.
Sir, please send the results on the WhatsApp or email the way you feel comfortable.
Yeah. Can I have a word with Ajit sir?
हाँ
Yes,
बोलिए.
yes, sure, sir.
सर कैसे यहाँ पे दो चीज है आपने जो पूछा था
हम्म,
हाउ विल यू रेट इट
हम्म.
एनीवेज
Sir,
मैं तो आपके क्वेश्चन के बेसिस पे आई हैव आल्सो रिकंसीडर्ड इट
हम्म.
लेट्स सी
So, we all know that they are the college. They are not a full-fledged advocate, and we were also in the same way. So,
सर मैं तो हार्डकोर मूटर रह चुका हूँ सर मेरे कॉलेज टाइम पे
the personally, I feels that we will have to rate 1 to 2 marks difference, but nothing more than that.
यस समवट सिमिलर बट एनीवेज ओवरऑल आई मीन परफॉर्मेंस आर गुड सर
Overall,
राइट
just difference of 1 and 2 marks.
राइट चलिए सर फिर भेज देता हूँ मैं ये अभी स्कैन करके आपको भेजना है समीक्षा
Yes, sir.
मैं 2 मिनट में आपको मेल कर दूँ व्हाट्सएप पर देता हूँ.
Okay, okay, sir.
Should I leave?
Yes, yes, sir.